And good morning, Coldwell Banker Church Realty agent. Just to let you know, this is a Friday class. We'll be touching on some of the new tools that Coldwell Banker Church Realty has for all his agents. And also, we're gonna go and talk about. We'll go to the CB George Realty website and show you some of the stuff that we have there. I'll quickly touch on coldwellbanker.com also, where the property searches are, what the people see, what the public, not what agents see, but what the public, if they want to go to Coldwell Banker, where do they see? And then I'll go back just to a purchase agreement. Okay, there are a couple of things that people are missing when they're writing up the purchase agreement, and I want to point that to you. If you have questions at any time, you could always unmute yourself and ask me the question. So I am gonna go straight to share my screen, and I am going to be sharing my screen at the Coldwell Banker. Let me just go here, share my screen, and I am going to okay, this is Coldwell Banker George Realty website. It is called cbgeorgerealty.com. Let me just eliminate the pictures. If for any reason you cannot see it, let me know. And this way I know what I'm talking and I know what you're seeing. So this one has a navigation tab. I mean, people can put any address here, you know, any address, any city. And what's happened here, if I were to put Alhambra, anybody, you can send them here. It will tell you how many listings are in the MLS. And what we do is it shows Coldwell Banker George Realty first listing, right? So Irene happens to have a listing on 3rd Street, and Frank V has a listing on 2nd Street, and Alice Chu has a listing on Adams. But then after that, after we exhaust the Coldwell Banker George Realty listings, they, number one, they go to the top. Then there is other companies. This is a feed from the MLS. You know, Remax have one, Westco Realty, Harvest Realty. And there is other pages for these listings. And this is, you can do search it at Coldwell Banker website, you know, www.cbgeorgerealty.com, right? Back to home. So here you can search any city and it will be a direct feed from MLS. It's automatically, it's updated as much as Coldwell Banker. The MLS, CRMLS is updated. CB George Realty, it's already updated. If you go down to the navigation, okay, there is a couple of items. Number one is an agent roster, okay? Every agent, there's 300 agents that are in here. We're missing about 50. So if you're one of those, please communicate with Red Lee. He is our marketing coordinator, and make sure that you do have a picture. You know, my understanding is that this coming Tuesday, we are having a photographer free of charge at the Arcadia office starting at 10 a.m. And there goes like every 10, 15 minutes, there's going to be a next agent, next agent, next agent. So if you want to have a picture, this is your opportunity at no cost to you. And there's all pages, you know, all agents are here. You know, Michelle de la Cuadra doesn't have one. Javier Diaz doesn't have a picture. Edward Dong doesn't have a picture, but Peter Dong has a picture. And if you click in here, it will give you information about Peter Dong, you know, and it will, if you want to request information, you can send an email directly from our website. Okay. So let me go back to home. So make sure that you come over here, look for yourself on the agent roster. If you're not there, make sure that you talk to your manager, your office administrator, or directly with Red Lee to make sure that your name, your address, your phone number is there. Because if you're calling people and the people want to see you and they don't get to see you in the company, then they say, well, if you don't even know how to market yourself, how could you be marketing my listing? So I just want to give you that recommendation. Make sure that you are everywhere. Make sure that you can fill out your profile everywhere. You got to go to the realtor.com. You got to go to CAR and complete your profile, complete your web page on all of those systems, right? The other thing that I wanted to show you is agent login. This is where you log in to look. This is the back office of Coldwell Banker George Realty. And then you will go to login. then everybody understand that you land on a page that asks you to enter a protected area. When you click on the enter a protected area, the password is George, right? You can type George, capitals, lowercase, higher case, doesn't matter. And then it tells you you got it right. Then you click OK again, and you're gonna land on a page that has information. So whenever it doesn't happen, take a look at your navigation. You see this, you'll have a navigation and it will say you have a pop-up blocker. This happened to a lot of agents, okay? So make sure that you say allow pop-ups and redirects from George Realty, right? And then you put done, then you go back to the protected area, and then you put George. I'm glad that I got that today, so that way I can explain it to you that you have a pop-up blocker, and that's the reason why the computer doesn't let you in. When you land in the Coldwell Banker intranet or our back office, you would have all of these ones. You see your mouse, it changes. So this one are hot links. Okay. So if you were to get a sales information sheet, there it is. You can print it. You can send it to your transaction coordinator, right? You could also instructions for lease. There it is, the instructions, right? For lease checks. Oops, sorry, I got out of the area. I should have not. So back to George. Okay, so here you want to see the Coldwell Banker George Realty addendum. You get a copy, you could always print a copy, download it into your computer. By now, you should have this form in your as your some of your documents that you're going to be using on all transactions. You're dealing with commercial property. You want to advise the sellers that they should talk to their accountant. There is a Coldwell Banker an exchange advisory form. Okay, so this is available anywhere. You could be in Hong Kong, you could be in South Africa, you could be in Argentina, and you'll be able to access as long as you have internet, right? If you wanted to get if you have a partner, if all of a sudden you can click on the commission sharing agreement, it would open up because it's a Word document. So you will have to save it on your desktop and then print it. Okay. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to cancel it. But if you want to get an earthquake receipt form, it's a PDF form. So you could always print it and download it. Okay. So those forms are available for all agents at Coldwell Banker at cbgeorgerealty.com. If you wanted to get a sign order form, you can just do that, fill it in, send it to your listing secretary, and she will have that information to put on. If you wanted to have, if you're looking for a painter, you're looking for somebody, a title company, you click on the resource list, and there you have it. Cleaning companies, junk companies, construction, handyman, repair. We do not endorse anybody, but we have names and addresses that we can give to our clients, environmental companies, escrow companies, home inspection companies, warranty companies, lead removal, mold, pest control, they're there, loan companies, NHD companies, anything. Floor plan, you want to do the floor plan of a property, this is a company that would do it for you. There's another one over here, that does that. Photography, right? Aerial photography, pool and spa cleaning, anything, signs, printing, business cards. So there is a lot of information here, staging of property. If you know of somebody that is good that you want to recommend it to me, I'll be delighted to take their name and number, add it to the resource list, and you can find them over here. That's kind of like an Angie's list type of thing. All righty. So if you know anybody, you want to put them in here, I have no problem. We do not endorse any services. We just give information. Hey, there is a plumber there. Here's a number. You are on your own. We cannot guarantee the performance of another individual. Okay, never. We can never guarantee the performance of another individual. You can only guarantee your own personal performance. Okay, so there it is. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Who is in charge of this listing? I mean, the list of vendors, and how often do you update it?
Uh, I am the one that sends it to Red, and Red update it.
Yeah, it's a good. It's very good. It's pretty comprehensive. I like that.
Well, it's one of the services to have because of Caesar. I want to pat myself in the back. I do keep, because all the agents are always asking me,
Yes.
where do I get this? So I started a list, and Anna, and I tell Anna to give me the names of escrow companies and title companies, and so we put that list together, and Red just updated it. Just I wanted to show it to you. So it's called Resource List.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Now, if you wanted to order business cards, I bet you that if I click right now on the business card order form, we will have the old one, which is it was just revised yesterday. So we will have here the new business card description sheet with the new logos, and you can order your business cards through there. Okay, you print it, and then you can do that. We are also looking for another printer vendor, because I wanted to have 3 vendors for almost everything. Okay, so if you know of a printer, local printer that would like to do this, I like to have that information. Now, for those of you that do commercial, this is for residential agents, right? This part, and for anybody at the company. But then we also have commercial. So for the commercial, you click on the commercial logo, and when you click on the commercial logo, we have sample marketing packages. Okay, so this will be a sample letter of intent, right? So if you click on the sample letter of intent, there will be a several. This is for a purchase, right? And when you go to the sample purchase, it's a Word document, because it will give you can delete paragraphs, you can change paragraph, and that's one of the help that we do. So you can go for a letter of intent, sample 1, sample 2. It's a purchase 5. I have no idea who numbered them, but you can come over here and click on the commercial logo, and you will get this information. Also, if you wanted to have uh, commission schedules, right? So a lot of people talk about, I'm going to charge you the first year this much money, the second year that much money. So there are samples over here. They're Word documents, okay? Marketing packages. So this one just sample marketing packages. This is a business package and a business presentation, and they're all Word documents, because you got to do it. Let me see if I can just download one. I'm going to go to here and open it up. I hope I can see it. It's a PowerPoint. Sometimes I lose it. So it is a PowerPoint presentation. It does have our commercial logo over here, and you put enable editing, and there are several, Coldwell Banker templates. You can change the photos. You can do all kinds of things. I mean, we have taken a lot of work from the staff, a lot of work that we do so that way you guys don't have to spend a lot of time reinventing the wheel. And it's a good presentation. You can input maps and things of that nature. You put properties over here. Of course, you have to do the work. We won't do it for you, but we have done partially a PowerPoint presentation. You can have your bio. You show what Coldwell Banker George Realty does for you, and blank forms, commercial. So that's up for you to do it, okay? So hopefully this will help you. Don't save. Let me go back. So technically, this is for Coldwell Banker commercial agents. You have flyers. If you wanted to get a flyer, there is an information. You save it, of course, in your computer, and you work it on your computer, right? So back to home. Very simple. You land on this page. You go to the navigation. You go where it says agent login. After agent login, you log in. Simple. You land on a protected page. Enter the protected area. The password is George. Okay. Okay. And then you land on those pages, right? Once you land on the residential page, you have all of these resources that you can print and use the form. If you are a commercial agent, one more step. You click on the commercial logo and you go to the commercial stuff, okay? If you're looking for a form, we provide you only 2 AIR forms. It's the mandatory disclosure statement, right? All commercial transactions have to have this at Coldwell Banker George Realty. And the other one is the property information sheet, right? This one's all commercial transactions at Coldwell Banker has to have those 2 documents. That's why we put them in there, because we request the document and we want you to be able to get them, okay? Even though if you're not a member of AIR. Okay, now I am going to get out of Coldwell Banker George Realty, and I'm going to share. This is Coldwell Banker George Realty. I am going to share from here. Also, you can go to the zip form page. So here's the deal. You enter the protected area. You put George over here. Okay. Once you land over here, you see this that says listing and selling requirements. In the old days, we used to have a lot of checklists and there were papers, and some people were working on a 2 years ago checklist. So it was very hard for us to keep it alive. So the way we do it now is when you click on this, hopefully it will take you to the portal for the zip form, okay? So you can go here, and remember your username is your first name, your last name, and then the password that whatever you picked. And sometimes I don't remember. I have so many that I go crazy. And when you sign in here, it should take me to my landing page of my transactions. So sometimes the internet, when you go from one website to the next one, it doesn't take you there, right? So anyway, I am on ZipForm Plus, but I'm not gonna go through here. So I am going to get out of there. I am going to get out of Coldwell Banker George Realty, and I'm gonna go directly to my landing page. In order for you to go to the broker version of ZipForm, make sure that you're using www.zipformplus.com, zipplusform.com. Once you do that, you will land on this page. For those of you that don't understand, there are 2 versions. The CAR version, you need to go through CAR. The Board of Realtors and CAR gives you your username and password. In order to go to the Coldwell Banker George Realty version, you need to go to the ZipForm Plus and get into the program through a different door, and will be a different username and a different password, of course, right? So on this one, my username is my first name, dot my last name, and my password, okay? And once I go in there, whoops. I have so many that I get all confused sometimes. So I will go there. I never remember my passwords on computers. And then I go to the Coldwell Banker. I have my transactions here. And we will come back to this when we go to the purchase agreement, okay? I promise you I'll come back to this one. But what I wanted to show you today, on the first minutes of the class, is the fact that this is your desktop. This should be your when you come into work in the morning, when you open up your computer, you make it a point to come into this site, okay, which
Is it by the south entrance? Did I just put that?
hello. I'm gonna mute everybody. You do have the right to unmute yourself if you wanted to ask questions, right? So let me go back to sharing the screen. And I go to share screen again. There we go. I hope everybody can see it. I landed at my Coldwell Banker page. Everybody has access to this. If for any reason you do not know how to land in here, I'm going to log off and show you how to sign into this one, right? So you go to any tab on your internet and you do www.mycbdesk. This is your desktop, mycbdesk.com. And over here, you will land on the Universal Coldwell Banker page, okay? As a matter of fact, residential agents and commercial agents come over here and will end up having this. These are tiles. They call them tiles, right? And if you want it, I have more than you do because I'm a manager and I have access to other stuff in here, right? But today I wanted to show you the Coldwell Banker Learning Center. This is a Coldwell Banker University. All you do here is click on the Learning Center, okay? And it brings you to the Coldwell Banker University. And it is, I mean, overwhelming the amount of material that is here. I cannot explain it in one day. We had Lisa Overman, our Coldwell Banker ambassador, give us training on this. I am also making sure that once we get into the new year, I would have a class with her to give us another overview of all of this training. But if you look at this one, there is, you know, learning library, okay? So everything, there are courses, 13 different courses. This is your learning library. Look how many. This is a document, right? This is virtual trade show. You have all kinds of information. If you want to know pricing strategy for the market, right? And you look at this one when it says pathway agent. So you take anything that says agent, and that's what you're supposed to be learning, right? If you, this is for manager. If you look at it, it says broker leadership, right? And this is train the trainer. This is what I do. They train me to become your trainer, right? This one is the final countdown challenge, agent and specialize. If I wanted to be a top producer, of course, I'll be looking at how do I specialize in real estate, right? So all of those things is something that you need to do. And they last, look at this one, the language of listings. This is a video. You can watch this instead of watching Dancing with the Stars, instead of watching The Voice, instead of watching and wasting your life watching television. Take a look at all of these programs, right? This is a video. They're self-paced. That means that you can take it at any time, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep. Here's an opportunity for you to do that. My suggestion is that you take at least 1 hour per week for personal education, your own development, business development of yourself. This one, for example, look at this one, listing. It's a video. It takes 2 hours and 25 minutes, right? So you already put on your calendar, don't bother me, turn your cell phone for 2 hours and 25 minutes, let the voicemail answer all the calls, and you watch this video and you learn, right? Outlist and out loud. This is another class. So there is so much. Look at it. You guys can spend a whole Saturday, a whole Sunday watching, negotiating skills. Look at this one, the 7 negotiating skills that will change your business. 60 minutes, right? Instead of watching 60 minutes in Channel 2 and CBS, take this 60 minutes and enjoy and learn your career. The more you learn, the more you're gonna earn. You know, this is a lot of information here. It is your job, it is your business. If I were to go to a doctor, I hope my doctor is reading the American Medical Magazine, and I hope that my real estate agent is keeping themselves up to date, you know, updated on what's going on in the business, right? So there's so many courses. Look at all, this is the library. By the way, this is Agent X. I will explore what Agent X means, right? This is CB listing experience. I will come over here to get all my training. All of these ones that said self-paced. This is Zap, right? Zap is how to use your personal website, free, no charge. We give you, Coldwell Banker George Realty gives you a full website where you can track leads but you have to do the work, right? We cannot do everything for you. That's the reason you are independent contractor. I wish that, look at it, this class is open to 350 agents. We send invitations and only 20 of us come into the training on Friday. So, but you can go here on your own. tell your friends, you can challenge each other. Look how many, okay? There is so much information over here. All righty. Any questions so far? So you will find this on your home page once you land at Coldwell Banker University, okay? So let me go back to my desk, okay? So that was Coldwell Banker University Learning Center. You find it over here, okay? Today, I am going to be talking, look at this one, Prospect Square. I have never been to Prospect Square, and also CBX Moxie Present. These two programs just became live for Coldwell Banker George Realty December the 1st. So today is December the 4th. I've never been in here. I'm gonna click there and discover. And this is how I discover something, right? I go over here and hopefully it'll be working. And then he tells you, good morning, Caesar. He says, welcome to Prospect Square. I'm pretty sure that you do have to do a tour. And he will tell you, this is a product tour that will help you get acquainted with Prospect Square and all of the features, right? So if I am coming here for the first time, I'm gonna take a look at the whole tour. What is it? It is your central place for communicating with prospective clients. This is kind of like a prospecting tool, keeping in touch with your existing clients, right? And growing your business. Take a look at, even if you existing clients can be people that you met at an open house, people that call you on floor time, your friends, your family, your sister, your mother, everybody that you know. You can be an existing client or a potential client. It says you will find updated market area and quarterly reports. So anybody that owns a property, if you put their address, they're gonna be getting marketing report and saying your house is high, your house is low. So they're gonna be getting communication from you, and hopefully when they decide to sell, they'll call you. That's the idea. Most people are getting, emails from, Amazon. They get emails from Netflix. They get emails from all of these companies that they already subscribe. The consumer is already online. You, as a real estate agent, should be doing business online. So part of the business is always going to be physical, right? You're going to have to open the door. You're going to have to flush the toilet. You're going to have to show the property, show the bedrooms, open the closets, look at the backyard. Yes, that's your job. But half of the job is going to be online, looking at properties, keeping in touch with your clients, marketing materials to the clients. So this is being designed for the agent of the future, okay? So next, your dashboard. It says from here, you can quickly view your recent activity and client engagement metrics. Customize your dashboard by collapsing sections and rearranging the widgets so that you can see what's most useful for you. Okay, so click on the headings to expand and collapse. They're just giving you information on how to use it. If there is something that you don't want to use, you can collapse it. And if there's something that you like to use, you expand it, okay? So you can drag and drop. Very easy to manage your platform. So next, right? We are watching a tour of how to use Prospect Square. So it says campaign overview. We're going to put everybody on a campaign, right? If it's a buyer, we put them on a buyer's campaign. If it's a property owner, we put them on a property owner. They might not need to sell today. Remember, we need to change our mindset. In the old days, we would look at a lead, we'll go and try to sell that property a lead, right? Today's day, the consumer is smarter than the old consumer, and they don't like to be sold. They like to buy themselves, just like you. So you put them into a system of engagement. You always engaging. Hey, how you doing? How are you? How's the pandemic treating you? Whatever question, and then you talk to them. And then this one will give you information. I'm pretty sure that it says every 14 days or whatever days that you can do. So next, activity overview, and it tells you here's a summary of your prospecting activity for the last 14 days. I'm pretty sure that you can change that information here for more days if you don't want to be bugging people every 2 weeks. I think you should be bugging people once a week at the minimum. sending them something about your name. I mean, I'm not Chinese, but somebody told me that there is a Chinese way of, you know, that they drop water on your forehead, you know, one little drop, one little drop, one little drop, and in 100 years there'll be a hole on your head. So that's the idea behind it, right? So you're gonna be talking to your consumer, talking to your friends, family, neighbors, anybody that is in your database. That's why you have to create a database: name, address, phone number, email. You input them in here and you talk to them or you send them something. So this is automatic intelligence. They're gonna be sending them, and most people will just put delete, delete, delete until they need your services. But they're gonna see that you are sending them. You're the most active real estate agent in town. That's the reason why they're gonna use you. Next, right? If you need some help, there's a guide. Prospect Square, you know, frequently asked questions, right? Market report guide. So it gives you information as to what your clients are gonna be getting. Next, right? Navigation. So this gonna be a navigation tab, and it's gonna tell you how to use it, your contacts, the reports, the groups that you do, or analytics, numbers. Any businessman, you need to keep your numbers. How many people do I have on my database? How many people are looking? So you put them in a funnel, and at the end you get a listing. At the end you get a buyer. At the end you get an escrow. At the end you get a paycheck. So you have to run your business as a business. You pick this career to be an independent businessman. You are a company within a company. Therefore, you are the CEO of your company, but you're also the janitor, and you have to do all the jobs and wear all the hats. Okay, this is a search bar, right? Not a bar to drink. And then there are notifications. They're gonna send you notifications on maybe new developments, new stuff, okay? And then your profile, right? Here you can access and update your profile information. So for those of you that don't have one, here's an opportunity for you to create or update the profile. There is some information that you cannot change, right? You cannot change your company that you work for. You cannot change your name, but you can change other information. Done. So this is the tour. I've never been here, but look at this one. 14 days, 1 month, once a month, you can do certain thing. You can create a campaign. Once a month, you talk to all your family members, or every 3 months, you can send something to the people, or every 6 months, you can send a campaign to the people that you have, right? Contacts. When you go to contacts, where am I going, right? So these ones are reports. I need to learn more. There it is. The internet is showing me that it's moving, so it's going somewhere. I do not know if since this is the first time I'm connecting it, if it's gonna go to my contacts from Zap and load them in here. I don't have that many because I am not actively in the market, but the internet got a little slow here. So this is what I wanted you to do on your own. Nobody's gonna teach you anything. So there it is, right? So you can import contacts, right? Or export contact. I have no idea where am I gonna be importing all my contacts, but I can go and say import contacts. Next. I can get them from my Outlook export file. I can get them from Gmail. I can get them from Excel, and I can get them on a comma file, right? Like a database information. So I'm not going to be doing that because I don't know. I want to do it correctly. But if I wanted to input a contact, I'm pretty sure that I can do this, maybe new, and then I'm gonna put the first name, I'll put Peter Cam. He'll be one of my contacts, and he will say, Dear Peter, and then he works for Coldwell Banker George Realty. So if it's just, right? If I know Peter's birthday, I will put Peter's birthday over here. If I know his home anniversary, when I sold him a house, and then I can put the rating, right? And it says, Peter is gonna be in my #1 set of contacts, right? And then I'm gonna put Peter Cam, PKAMESQ at gmail.com, right? So I have his email. If he bounces, look at it, bounce, and then you can correct it. Is it inactive? And then if I have his home number, his mobile number, his business number, if I have a instant messenger address, if he has a website, he preferred to speak English with me, and then I'll put his wife name, and I'll keep as much information as I can, and I will try to make this one my contact management, my prospect square. They're gonna be my prospect. I'm gonna save it, right? And then now that I have him save, I might go and do and apply Peter something, right? He's not inactive. I'm gonna go there and maybe I do a report, right? Create emails, view emails. So this is gonna be my working area where I'm gonna have all of my clients. As of right now, I don't have anything. If you notice, there's a chat back here, right? You know, and maybe please write why we connect to you with an online support agent. I'm just trying to see how quick Coldwell Banker take care of this. It says, please wait while we connect you to an online support agent. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my day waiting for a Coldwell Banker support person. Maybe they're very busy because they just launched this program and a lot of people may be looking for information. I sure tell you, SkySlope support chat is so fast. So for those of you that do SkySlope, it is much quicker than this one. But I guess I'm gonna grow old waiting for somebody to come in. So I think that this is the information that once you start creating and making actions, so I can do, oh, okay. So what welcome to Process. How can I assist you today? I was just checking how soon you responded. Teaching my agents, right? So let's see. See how fast they answer back. They're typing right there. So you guys know that if you have a question in the program, you could always go get the help. Don't be afraid of calling the help, Hi, Caesar, response time is usually fairly quick. See? Thank you. Have a nice day, right? That's all I'm doing. And if I wanted to cancel, I just end the chat, There we go. So we end our chat. And that's the end of it. I close my chat. So guys, get used to using all of these programs. They're there for us, no charge to you, to improve your real estate business. I will be updating all my contacts over here, all my past clients, anybody that I meet, anybody that has a home, that owns a property. And then I'm gonna find out how to send them reports, right? And you can send reports about the property, right? Property emails, create an email. And you can just put, it's an active under contract, how many days on the market. So you can even put your buyers, your sellers, people that are in escrow. And you're gonna, does it take a lot of work? Yes, it takes a lot of work. But also, if you're a good agent, you make a lot of money in this business. All you need to do is work 30, 40, 50 hours devoted to your business, and you're gonna get paid very well in this business. The reason why we don't become successful is because we do not have the consistency of working and working very steadily. We jump from, oh, I'm gonna do mail outs today. Oh, I'm gonna make phone calls today. Oh, I'm self-employed. I'm gonna stay home and do nothing. Oh, I don't have a boss that tells me to wake up every single morning at 6 a.m., do my exercise, brush my teeth, take a bath, put on my suit, go out there and call. 2 hours of your business should be calling people just to say hello. I'm calling to say hello. How is the stupid governor of California doing a lockdown? Whatever conversation. And then, by the way, when do you guys plan on selling your little house and buying a bigger house? Oh, we don't plan to. Okay, if you know somebody, call me. Thank you. Have a wonderful Christmas. Next person, hi, I was calling just to wish you happy holidays. I remind you, I'm in the real estate business and I make money only when I sell a house. Who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? My number, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Have a beautiful day. Thing. Next person and call. You need to call 2 hours a day. You need to call 25 people every single day, 125 people a week, 625 people a month, and you got to call 6,500 a year. And that will give you about 20 transactions. It has been proven by all of the people that follow the Mike Ferry. They do keep accounting of how many people they talk to. It takes 240 contacts. 200 people, phone calls to people, one paycheck. Those are the records, So if you say, how many hamburgers do they sell at In-N-Out in Atlantic and Huntington Drive? The manager there knows how many hamburgers they sell on a Monday. And that's why they buy so much pounds of meat, so much potato, because they got the numbers. You need to know what are your numbers. Every time I go to a 2 listing appointment, 1 listing taken. You need to know your numbers. Sometimes some people go to 3 listing appointment, they take 1. So that means you need to make appointments to go 6 listing appointments, 2 listings, right? So there is your count. So you need money for Christmas, you need to work in October. October, November, December money. If you're working on December, it's already January, February money. If you're working in January, paycheck in March. It's usually 60 to 90 days to a paycheck. So if you want to pay your property taxes in April, then you have to work in January and February so you get money. That's how the business work, okay? I'm gonna get off on this one, right? I'm gonna go back to, let me move this over here. And I'm gonna go back to my desk, right? And so that is Prospect Square. I will invite you guys to come here and play with Prospect Square. I'll invite you to go to the Learning Center and challenge you. Take one of the classes, one of the courses, right? If you don't like it, take the next one. Then I'm gonna go to this one. This is called Coldwell Banker X plus Moxie Present. I have never been here, but it says that it's a listing and marketing tool for CMA, and it says my presentation, okay? So I'm gonna click on CBX. These 2 programs have been already working for Coldwell Banker Realty, okay? What used to be Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage, the company-owned Coldwell Banker franchises, okay? Those are the Coldwell Banker San Marino, Coldwell Banker in Santa Monica, Coldwell Banker in San Francisco. So this one, it will give you, it says no MLS association, or this is a sample presentation. Maybe it'll show you. So this one, this will be how to create your seller presentation, and you can share this. Scroll down to start. So this is my, whoop. Oh, I need to put my picture. Oh, how do I do that, right? So make sure that I have a picture in here. It has my number, my office number. How do I change it and put my cell phone number? It does have my email and it has my information, okay? Then over here, the second page, it says 13 pages. So I'm not sure what else. No properties, okay? So I have not created this, but it is a sample presentation. So I'm just discovering this. Okay, so this is a CMA that you're gonna be presenting to somebody, and then you can share your screen and you can show this to somebody on your presentation. So I don't have one back to the top. You know, at the end, probably the last page, it has my name and a number. Okay, so let me just go back. I do not know how to create one presentation, so maybe I need to do, oh, my presentation, my library, my settings, create a new presentation, right? So it's gonna be a buyer presentation. I'm gonna show properties on Saturday. Then you can create a CMA for a buyer, a seller, get a market analysis with a traditional CMA. You can do a buyer's tour and you can do a non-listing. Presentations are just for listings. So create interactive newsletters or marketing pieces using custom pages. Okay, so this one is for you to, if you don't have a listing presentation, but you wanted to prospect, you might go here, a non-listing presentation. There is a default one, there's different pages. So let's see if I can grab this one. I'm not sure if I can open it. How do I open it? There we go. But it says 0 pages. So I need to find out, you got to select the type, pick a template, and then the settings. So I need to probably set it up. I don't have it all. There is no listing. So page 2. Okay, so it created a second page for me. Agent profile or a cover page, and then you continue. Right? Prepare for. So here will be for my client. So I'm sending something to somebody, right? To Betty Buyer. And then I go and create it. So there'll be something out there. I just play with these things, and if the same thing, if you have problems creating a transaction, there is a help desk over here, and you can click on the help, and you can talk to a help person right there on the spot and say, I'm having trouble. Okay. Okay, I misspelled Betty Buyer, but there you go. See, this is a presentation. It's going to have my photo over here. So I need to go to my agent profile. I need to edit my agent profile, right? Agent photo, I need to show my agent photo, right? So how do I upload my photo? I got to find out. I got to call the reason. If I don't have a photo here, maybe it's because I don't have a photo on my profile at Coldwell Banker as an agent. So if you want to add a page, you can add from the library, and there is a library of Coldwell Banker pages here that you can use. Does it take time? Yes, it takes time to learn. But if you put 1 hour, I said, this week I'm going to learn CBX Moxie Present. That's what you need to do. And there's a cover page. Oh, property summary, listing averages, price days on the market. So you can use estimate comparison, pricing analysis, right? And you can put a target price. This is good, guys. Net proceeds. You add that page to the client, right? And create the property. So you can create that will be the property cover page, property summary, listing location map. Of course, I don't have a property, so I don't have a map. And then you can send it, you can email this presentation to somebody. So you don't have to be face-to-face, right? Assign to an agent, add a co-presenter. So you can be presenting this, right? You can view the information as well. Okay. So this is, I'm just introducing you to the two tools available to you at no charge. I'm going to try to see if we can have a training for this later on in the year with our ambassador. But at this present time, I'm going to encourage you to come over here and use CB Learning, Proxima Square, and CBX Moxie Present. Okay, guys? I want you to guys to do that. This is all the information. For those of you that get advertising in Facebook or Google, I will recommend that you come over here to social ad engine, and they will do, it's a Facebook and Instagram advertising. Okay, if you go through this, you get better results than if you go by yourself to Google and Facebook. Okay, I've been told that because of the number of agents that are belong to Coldwell Banker, belong to Century 21, belong to Better Homes and Garden, when you go through Facebook through here, they put you at a different, even though they charge you the same amount of money, they give you extras. They don't tell you, but they give you the extras that they themselves are using. You know, they have beta, they're testing other type of marketing just to see how many people they reach. So when you go through this one, they may be something that today Facebook wants to start targeting people that went to the bank. And so you might get lucky and they pick you and they send that to everybody that went to the bank to apply for a loan, for example. I have no idea. That's what they're telling me. It is not guaranteed. That's not what they're selling you. But if you go through Facebook and you say, I want to put 20 photos, and they'll say $20, that's all you get. Over here, if you spend $20, you get your 20 photos plus additional stuff that they don't tell you. They're using you and the all Coldwell Banker people, because then later on they want to sell that to the rest of the world. So they're using us to learn themselves, and they give all those benefits, okay? And they don't charge you for all those benefits. So come over here to social ad engine if you're thinking about putting advertising in the webs on the internet. All right. So let me get out of here and let me stop sharing my screen. I hope I did not put you to sleep on what I was explaining. Anybody has any questions? And you can unmute yourself. Any questions so far?
Yes, sisters, me Oscar. Any can you go over on how to get to my desk CB
How to get it?
how to get into the website? And you said
Very,
we need a password to get into it?
you need a username and you need a password. So I'm gonna go this, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna go to my screen, I'm gonna share it, right? Let me get out of there. I'm gonna get out of the internet. I'm happen to be in front of my computer, right? And when I come into my computer, I add a tab, an address, and then I'm gonna go to www.mycb Coldwell Banker desk.com, right? That's what you type, mycbdesk.com. You put the enter key, right? When you land on the page, unfortunately, the cache already has my username and password. I want to be able just to go, okay, let me do this. Let me log out completely correctly, sign out. Okay, so I've signed out of desk, my computer, and then I go here, www.mycbdesk.com. Oh, it's already remembering me, Oscar. And so I already landed on my page. But in order to do that, there will be a username, which usually your oscar.castrellon@coldwellbanker.com, and they'll ask you for a password. If you do not have access, you look at the right corner, right on the bottom right corner, there's gonna be a help desk line. And you can pick up a phone and dial, and they'll give you access, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you very much, sister.
No problem. Anybody else with a question? Okay, it seems that Oscar, everybody knows, everybody got it figured out. I mean, I expect every single person in the call to make a listing, give it to, to Lori or to Doug. Hey, I got a listing. I know everything about the real estate business. Everything is new, guys. I spend a tremendous amount of time learning every single day, because whenever you guys call me and ask me for something, I need to find it. And I go immediately to the internet and I, excuse me, and I call the people and I find out how do I do it? How do I do it? Of course, I breathe, I drink, my breakfast is real estate, but I don't know everything. And so whenever I don't know something, I search, I ask questions, I call the title people, I call the escrow people, I call another real estate broker. Believe me, I go to the MLS meetings. I attend a lot of meetings, Zoom meetings about real estate. I do belong to a group of managers and brokers. They have like a once a quarter meeting that we share, you know, stuff. I have good friends in other states. They run real estate offices over there, and I see what they do, and I kind of copy what they do, but you have to do the same thing as a real estate salesperson. When I was a real estate salesperson, I would watch out what somebody from Center 21 is doing. What are they doing to be successful, right? I would look at inside my office. What does Amy does? What does Frank Quintanilla does? What does Trina in Puente? You know, I will copy and say, hey, what's going on with these people, right? They're doing business. I want to learn from them. Okay. I'll keep an eye on Christine Fenn. She's always calling and getting customers. Well, I'm going to do what Christine Fenn does. It's not easy. Believe me, Christine spent hours on the phone to get one lead, and sometimes the lead goes away. That's part of the business. It goes away this week. I keep on calling. Next week, maybe that lead becomes an appointment, and that appointment, nothing happened. They didn't have the money to buy, or they don't have the equity to sell. Okay, well, keep on calling. All of a sudden, you get a lead, then you get an appointment, then you get a listing presentation, and they say, no, you charge too much. I want $1 million for my house, even though the house is 500. Okay, I call again. I get another lead. I get another buyer's appointment. I pre-qualify them. They can buy. I show property. I make an offer, and they reject it. They took somebody else. Wow, that's our business. There is a lot of rejection in our business. So we have to be able to talk to people, recover, dry our tears, and go back the next day with a big smile and saying, I am going to win this week after week after week after week. That's the reason why we have sales meetings. That's the reason why we have, training to keep ourselves, motivated to continue doing this business. Can you imagine you own a restaurant and the stupid governor says, close your restaurant, right? No more restaurant. And then they say, well, you can open in the parking lot. And they open up and they spend a lot of money and they put all the screens and they wipe the tables and they clean everything. And all of a sudden, sorry, you cannot do your restaurant outside anymore. I mean, that owner is crying and, I don't know. And then they say, okay, to go, we're going to cook and sell to go. Well, the same thing is happening to real estate agents, right? We need to use a PEAD. Well, we learn how to use it. We know how to fill it out. We go show property. Do we have to clean up the house? Maybe yes, maybe no. That's up to you. What I do, carry a couple of gloves, couple of shoe covers. And when somebody tells you, hey, you didn't clean it, okay, then wipe it. Other than that, move on to the next house. Nobody's going to send the real estate police, right? Oh, I do not call list. Yes, if you call, I'm sorry, I didn't want to bother you. Boom, call the next number. Nothing is going to happen to you. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you're calling the same person over and over and over and over, that person can get your name and file. How many people go and file with the governor? Nobody, right? It takes a person that is so upset that is going to go and file against you. So don't be afraid to make phone calls. Phone calls right now is the way to get business, okay? What else? Anybody has any questions? Okay, I promise you that I was going to use the second half of the meeting for a purchase agreement, and that goes into zip form. And I know that most of you, I mean, I see Peter Dong already been writing offers for long time, and Clint the same thing, and Marcos is an experienced agent, and Diana, Christine Fenn, an experienced agent. So I would like to get your input. If for any reason you want to ask a question, please do so. It would help everybody else. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you that if you have a question or if you think something on a contract, then let us know. Okay, so let me go and share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna go to www.zipformplus.com. I wanna land on my username and password. My username is Cesar.Aviles, and my password is, I think this one I remember sometimes. In order to be able to use this, you have to be a member of the Association of Realtors. You have to be a CAR paying member. CAR recently sold SIPForm to this company called Lone Wolf. It's a third-party company. They are a technology company. Realtors are not technology companies. So this company want to make sure that it keep all the forms on updated, and they also keep the properties save up for 3 years, I believe so. Okay, I am going to create a new transaction. It is going to be a new purchase agreement. It's going to be 456 Valley Boulevard. In Alhambra, California. I have no idea. These are probably a commercial transaction. I'm going to treat it as a residential transaction anyway. I belong to Coldwell Banker George Realty. It's going to be a residential transaction. It's going to be an active. I don't use this very well because I'm not in the business. That transaction could be a prospect if you wanted to do this and create form for prospect, or change if it's an active transaction, or whether it's a pending transaction that you have pending, or if it's just a prospect transaction that you're looking to get a listing. So let me put prospect there. I am the agent, and this is the most important things, guy. If you don't learn anything, you need to, at this stage of the game, when you're putting the transaction, this is what we brag about. Coldwell Banker George Realty has the templates. This is what I call the restaurant menu. So on the templates, we have Coldwell Banker commercial lease listing, commercial purchase, mobile home, residential income. This is just a residential, simple listing, residential listing. So when I do that and open my transaction, the program goes out there and grabs my all the forms that Coldwell Banker had gotten. So if I put save over here, it goes and grabs all the forms that we have, okay? Applying the template to my residential transaction, right? Now, just so you know, if I didn't do that, I open my transaction and I would have to come over here where it says all forms, and then I will have to be picking and saying, oh my God, which form do I use? What do I use in order to write up an offer? I don't know which one to use, right? Or somebody told me RPA, but RPA, and I do not know which one, okay? There's so many forms over here. So we already, if you see the ones that are in blue, those are the ones that Coldwell Banker George Realty management team picked already for you, okay? If you need extra, you click here and it goes back into the pool. If you need to delete, then you go here and you delete it, right? So you come over here and you're going to have a cover sheet. The more information that you put to the cover sheet, the more information that is going to auto-populate to your transaction. So I recommend that you fill in the buyer's name, the buyer's address, the buyer phone number, if you're writing up an offer, okay? Let me, who is, My goodness, I didn't know there were a couple of people in the waiting room and I did not know, but anyway, welcome. We are on a transaction. This is the cover sheet. So the more information that you put to the cover sheet, let me put full screen so that way you can see it better. So you're gonna put the Betty, right? Then I'm gonna put where Betty lives, where the city that Betty lives, the state that Betty lives. The more information that I put for Betty, the more information that's going to auto-populate, right? Right? If I wanted to put Bob, then I put Bob Dyer. The more information, if I already know the seller's name, I can put it in here. The transaction cover sheet is going to have the address of the property. If I have the tax ID, I can put it here. So when I open up my offer, it's going to go there. So 0123-001-001. Okay, so I fill in this information. This is a residential transaction. I don't have any escrow information, but maybe I like to go with my favorite, any reliable. I can go to, Glen Oaks Escrow. I can use Central Escrow. I want to use Moy Escrow, and I'm going to use Alba Moy if I wanted to put that information in there. Buyer's broker firm name, Coldwell Banker George Realty, right? This shouldn't be here because we're not the seller's information, but this is going to auto-populate. So here it will be the Coldwell Banker George Realty, and then information about us, what we're in Alhambra, 1611 Garfield. So you put all the information that you want. All this information is going to auto-populate my transaction, okay? So I am going back, and that will be my cover sheet. The more you put on your cover sheet, the better it's going to be in there. If I wanted to do a residential input form, I need to have this form completed, right? It's going to be a PDF, cannot be completed by computer unless you have a program that can fill in the information. Like one of those, if you happen to have Adobe and you pay for it or you don't pay for it, and you can fill it in with Adobe and then you can save it and bring it back here, more power to you. If not, you would have to print it, do it manually, input it back into your computer, and then you can use it, right? So that will be the residential input form. By the way, this form needs to be signed by the seller. And it looks like I'm in a listing. So I'm going to go back. Let me go back because what I needed it was a purchase. And I put the wrong information. So I'm going to go to a new transaction. I apologize dearly. I noticed what I did. So this one is going to be 678, right? Main Street in Alhambra. It is a residential. It's going to be a prospect transaction. And the template, I applied the wrong template. See what could happen? It is a residential purchase. I did click residential listing, and what I'm looking for is a residential purchase. So I got the wrong menu. I went to the wrong restaurant, and I'm eating food that I don't like. So I go to save. There we go. So I'm on Main Street. I'm sorry, I was looking at listing. That's why my cover sheet talk about the seller's broker. So I got this information. I went to all the forms. I told you that it is the ones in blue are the ones that we already pre-picked for you. We already pre-packaged your transaction, okay? If there is a form over here that you're not gonna be using, you delete it, right? So I'm sorry for that. So cover sheet, fill out the buyer's information, right? And then over here is going to have the address of the property. The more information you put in.
Things are coming quickly, aren't they? Those are coming quickly.
Okay.
Have you heard of any rollout of vaccines? When can we get that? No, not seriously. It's supposedly big shipments is in the LA area.
Okay, I just needed to mute somebody, so. Okay, mute yourselves in the meantime, unless you wanted to ask a question, okay? Thank you. This way, I fill in the information, the more information, then there you are. Buyer's broker information, our license, buyer's agent's name. I need to put my name, This information is gonna be in here, right? Then I put my license over here. The more information you put into this cover sheet, the more information that is gonna go there. So I'm going to go back. Then you go to California Residential Purchase Agreement. And that's how you go with all the forms. Do you need all the forms? No. We just got an earthquake booklet receipt. We don't need it right now. We don't even know if our offer is gonna go together. So if you don't want to, commission sharing agreement, right? I have a commission sharing agreement. Why? If I'm doing a business where Oscar and me, we're partners, then I'm gonna use it. Oscar and me are not partners. I never want to partner with Oscar, so I'm going to delete it, right? I want to delete the form from here. Okay. The properties in Alhambra, it doesn't have a septic tank, right? I don't need a septic tank, so then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to delete it, okay? So I'm going to use only the forms that I'm going to use for my transactions. Well, how do I know? Well, you need to eliminate them. You need to come to these trainings and find out which ones are the ones that you use. Okay. The Coldwell Banker Addendum. There it is, the Coldwell Banker Addendum, right? You use it. Of course, you have to print it, put the address, and then have it signed by DigiSign. If you want it, you need to input it back into the transaction. Okay, so this was about the purchase agreement. I am going straight to the purchase agreement. If anybody has questions about the purchase agreement, when I click on the purchase agreement, I get several forms, right? I get the agency disclosure, and this one says buyer broker company to the buyer, right? And we give this form. This is not a contractual form. Then the buyer is going to be here. Did not populate it Betty because I did not put Betty buyer. Okay, if I would have had their name. Over here, I got already my name, my license, my company name, and my company license in all the forms. Also, if you're using broker version, you're gonna recognize it because it has our Coldwell Banker logo, you know, Alhambra, Arcadia, Puente Hills. So all of our forms come up with our logo. That's how you can tell that you're using the broker version or you're not. At the bottom of the page is going to say the same thing, Coldwell Banker George Realty. It's going to have my information. It's going to have your phone and your office number, and it's going to have the property address, okay? Very important that you do not delete. If you have one transaction, do not go to the same transaction, delete, and then retype information. It's not the right way to do it. Every transaction has a number. If you look on the top left where it will give a transaction identification number. This is a CAR given number. CAR will save the transaction for 3 years. After 3 years, they delete them, okay? But this is the entire civil code. This document have to go together with the purchase offer, okay? The next one is the Fair Housing and Discrimination Advisory. This is a brand new form. 2 months ago, it started it in October of 2020. Every transaction in the state of California has to have this form signed, and you sign it and you send it. You send it to the listing agent when you're presenting your offer, okay? It has to go with your offer because it has to be signed by the seller as well. You need to have it back in your file with the seller's signature that the seller cannot discriminate against sex, national origin, color, familiar status, primary language, immigration status. So make sure this is a very important form. And as the world goes crazier, as the state of California go crazier, as the United States go crazier, they're going to be creating more forms and more forms and more forms. And these forms do nothing, in my opinion, but they're good for the government to make sure that we are telling the people that there is no discrimination of any kind. And if you feel that you've been discriminated by federal law, you can go here to the HUD. You can go to the housing department in the state. You can go to the Fair Housing Council. You can go to the DRE. You can go to the local association of realtors. So they're telling the people, hey, here's information if you think that you're being discriminated, okay? Then the next form, I am sorry, I got off that one back to full screen. Agency, then the fair housing form, then the next form that comes along in your purchase agreement together with the purchase agreement is the possible representation of more than one buyer, disclosure and consent. So we disclose to the buyer that we might have multiple buyers and that we might have multiple sellers and that we work for a company that has over 350 agents and we could be a dual agency. So then the same thing. The buyer, Betty, signed here. This form goes to the listing agent when you submit the offer because we also looking to get the signature of the seller. Guys, do not forget the dates. The dates are very important on a transaction, okay? And make sure that Coldwell Banker George Realty is there and your name and you sign like you're signing a check. And then here you put the seller company, right? Any broker, that will be ABC Realty. And over here is the other agent, uh, I don't know who they are. So you put the name of the other agent. Make sure that you put the license of the broker here, and make sure that you put the agent's license. I'm just putting random numbers, okay? So you need to find them. Where do you find them? In the listing. It's there. The listing agent is there and the listing broker information. So you just bring it in here, okay? Then you need to tell the buyer that we live in California, you're subject to wire fraud. Hey, there's even criminals right now trying to find the COVID vaccine. They're even cracking the Pfizer's and all that other stuff. So they're gonna crack your bank. They might steal your money. So you gotta tell the buyers and the sellers to be careful about wiring money. This is just to protect us. It's not our responsibility if the buyer's money gets taken by a crazy dude from Russia or from Iran or from North Korea or from whatever. Okay, but we need to let them know. And if they get crime, fraud, there is a phone number for the FBI right there. You can call the FBI. I don't know that they will help you because they're so concerned about other things, but there is a phone number for you. Okay, and the buyer sign and the form goes with your offer, and you demand that the seller signs it and send it back to you within the first 5 days of opening of escrow. All the seller's forms have to come back to you and they have to be in your file. It has to be on SkySlope. All the forms, 95% of all the documentation should be in the file before the buyer remove contingencies. First 2 weeks, we should have a 90% file compliance. I'm screaming like this because not everybody does it because real estate agents are not taking care of business. And that is one of the biggest problems. If you take care of business right away, you will have more transactions and you will move on quick. Don't play games. If the buyer says, yes, I'll buy it, write up an offer. If the seller says, no, I don't wanna, write up a counter offer, a yes, a no, or a counter offer, but move. Don't be lingering. Oh, let me wait until 5 days until I send them a counter offer. They're not gonna think that we like the house. And don't be playing that because you will never guess what the other parties are thinking. You will never guess. And they also change their mind. Today they tell you they will like it. Tomorrow they tell you they don't like it. Okay? So don't play games. And we land on the purchase agreement, right? Make sure that he has a date, the day that you prepare the offer. Make sure that he has a buyer. Make sure that you're writing the property address, okay? Make sure that you write the parcel number, right? Whatever parcel number, where these come from, it comes from the listing, the MLS, the properties in Alhambra City, County of Los Angeles, right? It's in Los Angeles, and it's California, and the zip code 91801, right? So you need to complete it. Then you put the purchase price of the property right here. So we're buying the property for, 1,300,000. You put the numbers, put the enter, it already spells it out for you. Close of escrow, do not use the day, do not use the calendar, because you do not know at this stage, if you're calling on a 20-day listing and you say, okay, 20, I'm gonna close escrow before Christmas. And what happened if the offer doesn't go today, it's a Friday, the seller doesn't answer until Monday, and then there is a counter offer, and it takes you till December the 7th to open. You will not be able to close by December 24th. The best way to write up an offer is to check this box, right? And you're gonna say, I'm going to close escrow 20 days after the acceptance. So wherever the acceptance, then we count 20 days and then we close escrow. So hurry up and accept my offer. Or you're gonna put here 60 days, right? After the acceptance, and we're gonna close escrow. And then the agency disclosure goes there. ABC Realty represents the seller. Armando represents the seller. Coldwell Banker represents the buyer. Caesar represents the buyer. Make sure that you put the excess. If for any reason this broker happens to be Coldwell Banker, right? Coldwell Banker, George Realty. Do I have Coldwell Banker? George Realty here, right? Then it's not the seller, it's not the buyer. We will be representing both, right? Make sure that it's a dual agency. If you do not check the boxes correctly, we are gonna make you put another form. If you're missing, right? If you, for any reason, you forget to put that and you're missing, your contract is not valid. You need to complete that information. So make sure that you do it correctly. That's ABC Realty, and that will be the sellers. And Armando works for the seller, and we have a license number, whatever. Okay, and I represent the buyer. And Coldwell Bank, oh, sorry. And Coldwell Banker represent, I represent the buyer, and Coldwell Banker represent the buyer. Hey, what happened? Let me take them off. I represent the buyer and Coldwell Banker represent the buyer. There we go. So here you're gonna put the deposit. You know, we're gonna put a deposit. $1 is okay. Now, people ask you to do 3%. That's just because the law says that 3% is the maximum liquidated damage clause. But here you can put $10,000 and it's okay, right? And over here, make sure that you do not take a check. Here it says that the money is going to be put into escrow within 3 business days, business day. So if we get an acceptance today in the evening, business day will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, day number 1, Tuesday, day number 2, Wednesday, day number 3, up until the time escrow closes. So at 5 p.m., I can put my money there by electronic money. I'm telling them I'm going to send them electronic funds. Or I can say by personal check, nothing wrong with that. Buyer's gonna give a personal check to the escrow company, or I'm gonna give him a cashier's check, right? A personal check right here, a cashier's check. Or I'm gonna bring him, you know, you can say I'm gonna give you, you know, 50 pounds of gold. Right? I'm gonna give 50 pounds of gold to open escrow. Right? I don't know. It's up to you. Tell them what you're going to do. I'm going to put a personal check. Okay. Then I'm going to never increase the deposit here on the writing offer because then you need another form. You need an RID form. If you put something here, I'm going to ask you for another form and I don't want to ask you for another form. So don't put nothing in here. Technically, this is because right now the buyer only have 10,000, then I'm gonna make a transfer of money and then I'm gonna put more money in escrow. Don't do that. If this is an all cash, I will click the all cash, right? No loan information to be put in here, right? If I'm gonna put a loan, is it an FHA, VA, or the seller financing? If I click there, there's gonna be more forms. See, every time you click a box, make sure that if there is a form, that form needs to attach to the offer, right? No assumption, no second loan. So this is a first loan. And let's say I'm buying this property for, I'm gonna get $1 million of a loan, right? So I am going to, at the end of the escrow, I am going to need 290,000. So this money plus this money becomes my down payment, okay? So that way at the end, I have 1,300,000 is my purchase price. Make sure that you buyer sign there. On page number 2, make sure that you have a date. Okay. If I click here, verification attach, that means that I am attaching proof of money. Caesar, don't do that. I do this within 1 day. I will show you my proof of money. I'll show you mine when you show me yours. That's my attitude, but it's because I know the forms and I know how to talk to the listing agent that I will do that. But it's up to you. So we're going to do that, and we're going to send you copy of the bank statement, all right, of the buyer, amounting that I do have all the money for the down payment and closing cost, right? I have $10,000. I send them a bank statement that has $10,000. If I put here that I have $100,000, I better give them a bank statement that I have $100,000, okay? Or stocks, bonds, whatever information that you want to prove that you have the money. Appraisal contingency. This agreement is automatically contingent upon the property appraising at the value. If you are buyer, first-time buyer, do not click here because they don't understand. And if you put here that this transaction is not contingent upon the appraisal, how it's going to be when you come back and say, I'm sorry, Mr. Buyer, the property didn't appraise. You need to pay more money for down payment. Buyers that never been in this business do not understand that. Not many people understand that if you remove the appraisal contingency, the buyer have to put the difference on the money if the appraisal is low, or you have to negotiate with the seller. Okay, so do not check the box. Got it? And then here, I sometimes like to change the 17 days. And I ask the appraisal, when is the appraisal going? The appraisal is going next week. So maybe I just remove this and I say within 10 days, I will give you the appraisal contingency removal, right? To expedite things. Or I just want to see that the listing agent is sharp, and I'm going to put here 60 days, right? The entire amount of the escrow, just to see if the listing agent handles it correctly, okay? Now, loan terms, within 3 days after the acceptance, buyer shall deliver to the seller. Oh, a letter attached. This is a pre-qualification letter. I can say within 1 day. It's Friday. I don't have a lender that give me to me in 2 hours. It's afternoon. Then I will say next tomorrow, I'll give you that pre-qualification. If you already have a pre-qualification, you click the box and you attach it. It must be attached to it. So anything that is with the excess, it's attached to this offer. Okay. Loan contingency. I can put 30 days loan contingency, right? I change it because my buyer needs 30 days. My lender needs 30 days to completely verify all the underwriting requirements. A lot of time we make the mistake, we shorten this, and we don't even know why we're shortening it, right? And the lender says, I can't do it in 15 days. Or they lie to you and they say, I can do it in 21 days, and it takes them 40 days to get an approval. Okay, it's up to you. You can leave it within 21 days. If you are doing a buyer, first-time buyer, inexperienced buyer, do not eliminate the no loan contingency. Always loan contingency, so you have time to explain a buyer. Of course, counter offers in today's very fighty time are coming, no loan contingency, remove the loan contingency. Make sure that you explain to your buyers that if they remove the loan contingency, they cannot back away from the transaction and get their money back if the lender does not give them a loan approval, okay? And remember that a lot of loans are not approved at the beginning. They get to be approved with conditions. And if you don't have the condition fulfilled, your loan approval is meaningless, okay? So talk to direct lenders, talk to reputable lenders, people that have experience. If you do not know somebody, ask in the office, ask your manager to give you a name or 2 or 3 names of lenders. This agreement and buyer's ability to obtain financing are contingent upon the sale of the property owned by the buyer. So in the event that the buyer is selling their condominium and buying a bigger house, make sure you check it. There is a new form goes in there. If you check any of these boxes, another form applies to your offer. So make sure that if you check it, you attach it. If it's a short sale, if it's a trust, if it's a short sale, if it's REO, if it is, excuse me, if it is a probate, you need to make sure that you check that in here. Who pays for what? At the beginning, when I'm writing the offer, I want the seller to pay for the home protection, and I want including the environmental. I want the seller to pay for the termite report, right? And this only talks about termite reports prepared by a company that I want. I can say here, Castle and Home. Now I can put buyer to pay for home inspection. I can also, if I wanted to, buyer can pay for the termite inspection. I get my friendly termite company not to charge, so actually no charge to my buyer, but then I know that it's a reputable company. And then when I go for the request for repairs, I tell the seller, I love to buy your house. Unfortunately, we found termites on the corner of the patio. We would like you to take care of that before I close my transaction. And if the buyer and the seller accepts, no problem. Or I want you to pay for it and give me a credit, no problem, okay? I would do this, but a lot of people like to make the seller to pay for that. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's just how much money are you paying the seller? Pay me $3,000 more, I take care of your termite with my eyes closed, right? But that's up to you. So the seller will pay for the cost of compliance. The seller will pay for any retrofitting, if there is city inspections, if you have to put a gas valve, an earthquake gas valve, I want the seller to take care of that and sell me the house. If I wanted to win this offer and I wanted to go cheap on the price, if depending on the price, I might say buyer will pay, you know, hey, okay, Mr. Seller, don't worry, the buyer will pay. Mr. Seller, don't worry, the buyer will pay. My offer is better than the other people that are asking you to pay. You pay, you pay. Hey, Mr. Seller, I will pay for your escrow. Huh. How about that? Can you make an offer like that? The answer is yes. The buyer will pay for the escrow fee. I would make my offer that way better than removing contingencies, for example. And then how much does escrow cost? Well, it usually costs about, $1,000 plus $2 for every 1,000. So escrow can be, $1,200, $1,500. It beats this, right? You just take that in consideration. It's just monies and cents. But you need to understand the purchase agreement to be able to negotiate. A lot of people don't teach you that you can do that. Buyer can pay. Buyer can pay for the title policy, Mr. Seller. Don't worry. I'm going to be paying for my lender's policy anyway. Maybe I get an owner's discount and I pay for yours. So, Mr. Seller, my offer is better because your net pay, it's going to be higher than accepting Marcos offers. Marcos is asking seller to pay, seller to pay, seller to pay, seller to pay, and Caesar is taking care of those things. If I am representing investors and they want to make a low offer and they want to pay less property taxes, I'll take care of some of the cost for the seller. Huh? Interesting, huh? But you can do anything you want, buyers or seller, but you need to understand here, the majority of times in California, in Southern California, buyers and seller pays escrow fee, each their own, right? Or 50-50, whichever way you want to do it, okay? Seller will pay for county transfer tax, $1 per every 100,000. Seller pay for city tax, if any. Make sure that you put any. Seller will pay for the homeowners association if this is a condo, right? Seller will pay for HOA if it's a condo. If it's not a condo, nothing. But buyers, if you are competing You can buy, if buyer can pay, make your offer a little better. Maybe the lender don't like that, but hey, if the buyer has money, I'd rather have a contingency on the appraisal and pay a couple of $100 on the cost. Okay, I would like the seller to pay for sanitizing, COVID-19 at close of escrow. Okay, I think that you have bugs in the house. Seller shall pay for extermination. Of roaches. I don't know. You can ask for a whole bunch of things in there, right? But you need to learn how to use this purchase agreement, right? And where to put the information. My advice to you, grab a purchase agreement, practice. Imagine that you're going to be buying a house for yourself and write everything that you think you want. That's the way you need to treat your buyers. Protect them by writing offers that benefit them. And then ask the seller, yes, no, or give me a counter offer, right? Always ask for a First American home warranty, okay? Or your favorite home warranty. Make sure that you know the amount, right? Not to exceed, always put an amount, not to exceed $750. I wanted to cover the air conditioner, and I wanted to cover the pool spa, and I wanted to cover the roof. Okay, that's just me. Or I wanted to cover the appliances, right? Appliances and roof, right? So the more I want, maybe I want the seller to pay $800, right? 850. I don't know what it costs. So make sure that you talk to your favorite sales rep, like find out how much does it cost. And then if you hear issue by, there's a couple of companies that you can pick: First American, Home Guard, HW, Residential Warranty, whatever. All these people pay to have their name over here, okay? Anything that is included on the sale, anything that is excluded of the sale, warning, some solar systems may not be owned by the seller. So when you're making an offer, make sure that you tell them, the seller, to pay for it, because you don't want to end up paying for something that you don't want. Exclude, you want to exclude something, make sure that you write it, right? If you are buying a house, brackets that are attached to the wall for your flat screen TV should do there. I want them removed. I don't know, maybe I have a 75-inch and the little bracket that they have, tell them to take it off and fix the wall. I'll install my own bracket for my own TV, right? Big deal, right? It's up to you. You need to know your offer so that way you do it. Buyer intent to occupy the property as primary residence. This is the biggest issue. When does the buyer gets the house? When does the buyer gets the key? Well, the buyer gets the key at 6 p.m. on the day of close of escrow. If you don't put nothing here, that's what it says. The buyer is going to live in the house, and I want my house possession will be given to the buyer 6 p.m. the day of close of escrow. Beautiful. Ha! In the old days, no later than, and people used to give you 3 days, no charge. Some people used to give you 5 days, no charge. Today, people are so crazy, 1 minute, they want to charge you, okay? Very negative people in the world these days. So they want to do that. In the old days, we were very friendly. So give me the house no later than 3 days, and maybe we can share the rental truck, you know, the U-Haul. Or you can put so many calendar after days, and you can put the amount, when do you want the house, right? I want the house for Christmas. Then you put December 30th, 25th, right? Give me my house on Christmas Eve, because Christmas people are closed. So I want my house to be on Christmas Day. Now, if that seller is going to stay there, right? Seller will remain in possession. You better do this if it's less than 30 days. Or if the seller is going to rent more than 30 days, make sure that you do a rental agreement and figure out who pays for what. and who insures for that, okay? If the property occupied by tenants and I'm an investor and I want the tenants to stay, so I want the tenant to stay on the property, I click here and there is a new form that goes into my transaction. And then this one is all the form, all the disclosures right here. It says, Mr. Seller, give me the lead disclosure, give me the SPQ, give me the TDS, give me the AVID, give me. That's why when an agent tells me, Caesar, the other agent doesn't give it to me, I say, go to see paragraph 10, yellow it out, send an email and say, it's a contract. Follow the contract, you stupid listing agent. That's how you need to act. Don't be so, well, the listing agent don't want to give it to me. It's not the one to give it to you. He has to, the seller by law, by contract, needs to give you that. Look at it. Section 1102 of the Civil Code. You need to give it to me by law, right? Ay, ay, ay. Now this one, do not waive. You cannot waive lead disclosure. It's federal law, okay? You go to federal penitentiary if you don't follow this, okay? Environmental hazards, right? All of the booklets needs to be given. Withholding taxes. They don't want to give me the FERPTA. Well, hello, it's right here. You need to give me the FERPTA, Mr. Seller. It's by law, California law. Go tell the governor of California that the seller doesn't want to give you the FERPTA. All right? There is a form. Megan's law, we don't have to have another disclosure. In the old days, we need to give them another one. Now it's part of the contract. This is regarding sex offenders. Gas and liquid transmission pipelines. There is a notice of that. So the contract has all of that in here. Copies of the HOH documents. Condition of the property. This is that you need to give me the property in its as is. All the purchases are as is. The way I see it, that's the way you're buying it. Tell the buyer that. Unless they hire an inspector, unless they request repairs, the way you see the house, that's the way the seller's gonna give it to you, okay? As is in its present condition, that's how you're buying it. And then the buyer has the right to inspect the property, right? You have so many days, 17 days, to inspect the property. Check the property, call the police, bring my feng shui master, bring my priest to put holy water on the house. You have the right to do that right here by contract, okay? 17 days. If you don't like it, mama doesn't like it, if papa doesn't like it, then walk away. I don't like the house. Next, move quickly. Time is of the essence and you will become a better real estate agent, okay? The seller will make the property available for investigations, right? That means that the seller have to let you see it, bring inspectors. The property has to have the water, gas, electricity. All the pilots have to be on, okay? If the property does not have that, then you do an extension of time addendum and say, my inspection period is hereby extended by 5 days after you turn the utilities on. Learn to negotiate that. Title investing, we don't give information to the buyer as to how they take title. They should consult their lawyer. They should consult their accountant, right? All right, it's about 10 minutes to the deal. And all I'm telling you is that those are the majority of forms that we need to fill in, the first 2-3 pages of the purchase agreement. Okay, it here says seller has 7 days, 1 week to provide all the reports, all the disclosures. And then the buyer has 17 days after the acceptance. That's why the day of the acceptance is very important. We accept the offer today, Friday. Today is day 0. Tomorrow, day 1. Okay, today is not day 1. People have it confused. Today is day 0. Acceptance today. Tomorrow, day 1. Sunday, day 2. Monday, day 3. When they're talking about business days to put the deposit, Saturday, Sunday do not count. Holidays don't count. Federal holidays, okay, don't count. Here, you have to remove contingencies, right? Removal of contingencies with the offer. I do not recommend that, okay? This is for somebody that understands the real estate business, that buyer is acting against the advice of the broker. So technically, we are telling the buyer, don't do that. And we're the ones telling them to do it, right? Interesting. That's how this real estate business is all crazy, right? That's just how the lenders, they approve the loan and then they ask you to write letters. You know, the money come from my daughter. Oh, that credit is not mine. All these explanations. All righty. Crazy explanation, crazy business. So this is the entire purchase agreement, right? All 10 pages. The buyer signs on page number 9. The buyer also initial, right? And the seller has to initial. If the buyer initial and the seller doesn't initial, no contract. You need to make sure that both initials. If you are the listing agent and the buyer doesn't, and the seller wants to have a liquidated damage clause, make sure that you write a counter offer and say, buyer to initial counter, the number 21 on page number 7, I believe, page number 8, okay? Then the buyer signs on page number 9, and if the seller loves the offer, the seller will sign right here on number 10. If the seller doesn't like your offer, he still need to sign. He still need to check the box and say, I accept your offer. Look at it. I accept your offer, but you need to take a look at my counter offer dated, and they put the date of the counter offer, maybe tomorrow's counter offer. But the seller have to sign here, okay? If you don't get the signature, you haven't gotten a good counter offer. You're not dealing with a good listing agent, all right? I know there are attorneys that tell you that if you receive the counter offer, then you're assuming that the offer has been read to the seller. Sometimes they only focus on the price, then they give you a lousy counter offer, and then when they get it, they go, oh, I did not agree to the term. I did not agree to close of escrow on that day, and it becomes a renegotiating the deal, okay? So make sure that if you're gonna get a counter offer, you can ask the listing agent, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you sign the offer, please? All the 10 pages. I wanna make sure that we're moving in the right direction. I don't want your seller to change their mind. Also, if you wanna get paid, make sure that when you submit your offer, you sign right there, and you want the other agent to sign right there, okay? Cooperating broker compensation, money. If you don't get a signature here, if they don't want to pay you, they may not want to pay you, okay? So please, you will have to go fight your money in an arbitration, okay? And then this is a buyer's inspection advisory, has to be signed by the buyer. California Consumer Privacy Act, it has to be signed by the buyer, and you have to be sent with the offer, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing. I know there is experienced agents. I know that there is new agents in here, but I would like to open it up for a couple of questions. Anybody has some questions? Anybody has questions today? Everybody went to sleep. I'm asking everybody to unmute. Anything new, any questions? Ting, you know everything. Don't call me on a Saturday. Just kidding. You're always welcome to call. No question, Diana, good. I'm glad you understand it. Yes, Val.
The thing is only I have a under signature, electronic signature.
Electronic signature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about if you prepare one document for me and send it and making sure that I want to sign it? I'm your buyer. So get an offer, write them the offer, send me the offer on digital signature so we can practice.
Oh, I just got one question that I had the other day where they some kind of suppress the say the email, and they rejected it. They couldn't fix it for me, so I had to add different email.
Okay, one of the things that is very important is that when you are creating the transaction, you must have every person that is going to be signing individual personal email.
Mhm.
You cannot send to my sister, even if I live in the same house with my sister, send it to my sister's email for Caesar to sign. That doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to have my own personal email for me to sign.
I'm just saying they want to send the real email, everything, but the email was suppressed by the e-signature company, but that's one that we have.
Yes,
And then they rejected, they said it bounced.
it bounced, right?
Then I called them, they tell me what to do. I did it, resend it, they bounced again. I called again, they send it for me to them, bounced again. And then they told me, find them the same different email and they can go over there to them, but on different emails, so they went to them. So
Right,
that's what I'm just saying. It's
that's technology that, you know, it does happen. It does happen. So anybody else has a question? If you guys have, I know that some of you like to come into the training. If you have any questions like Val, send it to me in the middle of the week, and I'm gonna be, you know, next Friday, maybe what we do is we just do a electronic signatures using all the systems that I know how, okay? Even the SkySlope, for anybody that doesn't know how to do SkySlope, I'll do a DigiSign document, maybe I'll do a zip form digital, maybe I'll get some of you, and in the middle of the class, I will email you something for you to sign, and then I'll tell you where the document. Tiengan, so you're off on the weekend, Caesar. Well, what can I tell you, Ting? I am on 24/7. Actually, I go to bed, I need to sleep, and I need to have a little rest. But if there is an emergency, I would answer. If I have my phone with me, I would answer it. I usually try to rest and go to church on Sundays, but and pray for you and pray for all the agents of the company. But I am always available. If I am available and I can handle it, I will respond to you. They don't pay me for weekends. They don't pay me. 9 to 6 is my job, but I am here to help out all the agents in the company. If that answers your question, Tien, just in case.
Well, just in case, Caesar, sometimes you meet the clients on the weekend.
Yes, I understand that. No problem.
Just in case.
Just in
Good to
case.
know.
If you reach me, I answer. I don't hide from people. But if I'm busy, then I'm busy, you know.
Yeah, sure. Maybe texting better.
But I don't usually text back, but you can text me. I'm, you know, I don't even answer my wife's phone, okay? So that tells you how I am. Even if my wife texts me, I don't answer. And I love her dearly, 40 years of marriage, but I'm not a slave of the phone. So, Clint, it's so nice to see you over the training.
Thank
I
you.
need you to make phone calls. Don't be afraid. Just do it, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Caesar.
Okay. It's 11:59, 12 o'clock. Have a wonderful weekend. For those in Alhambra, for anybody here, I sent a training for Monday at 1 o'clock. It's going to be somebody on phase 1, phase 2, environmental. Very good class with a good teacher. So if you don't have the link, ask your manager and they will be sending that link 1 p.m. on Monday. And for Alhambra agents, I'll see you at 11 o'clock for the meeting. Take care.
Caesar.
Thank you, Trish. Have a nice weekend yourself.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Caesar.